comes to fast food, it's not exactly my forte. I leave it up to people far more qualified than myself to handle those matters. But when I found out that there's chocolatey treats to be had at these places, oh man, I was on it like Jeremy on a smoked meat sandwich, man.
You like the big, smoked meat sandwich? It's only for pros. It's like a pro meal, right?
This was predestined. So I checked out Starbucks, man, and I got every possible chocolatey treat that I could find. But let me tell you something, real quick. Starbucks does not bake any of this stuff in-house. They have a factory, and it gets sent into them from the factory to the store. Now, that doesn't sound so weird, but the thing is, they have an oven in the store. In fact, it's right next to the actual baked goods. They ask you if you want to warm it up, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, places like Chick-fil-A do make their own cookies. It's not a foreign concept, so why exactly Starbucks, with an oven right there, literally right in front of you as you're ordering it from, doesn't do it? Very strange.
The Fudge Brownie.
Let's start off real easy with the brownie. Now, I think this is sort of a gimme for any sort of bakery. A brownie is something that is easier to do, but even the worst brownie is still going to be really damn good. And this seems to be the case with a Starbucks brownie. All of it very dense, very heavy. You've got a big giant chunk of chocolate right in the center there. And man, it's looking the part. All these things have been warmed up beforehand, so we're going to be having their optimum freshness. Off to a good start, man. Wonderfully rich, wonderfully chewy, but most of all, extremely fudgy, dude. This thing really tastes like something that you would bake at home. It doesn't taste like something you would get from a fast food establishment in any shape or form. Oh, it's delightful. I'm gonna finish this off. If this is a sign of things to come, oh, this is gonna be good.
The chocolate cookie.
Now we got something a little bit more difficult. The chocolate chip cookie. Now, you know when it comes to me, man, I'm real picky with the chocolate chip cookiness. It's gotta be crispy on the outside, gotta be chewy on the inside. You know this, such is the fact. And it looks like, perhaps, Starbucks might be following that same ethos. Take a look at those edges. You see how those edges are slightly browned and the rest is much lighter? That's a sign of a very crispy cookie. But it also has something that I don't see too often. It's got layers. Looks like it was 2 cookies put together. Oh, and of course, plenty of chocolate chips to top it all off. Okay. Good, nothing fantastic, but pretty decent. It's not crispy on the outside, at all. In fact, it's totally chewy all the way through. It really resembles the texture of a cookie that's been sort of half-baked, and you take it out of the oven right before it hits that crisp factor. With the brownie, you have this wonderful, deep, rich, and delightful chocolate that you could tell was fairly high quality, at least it gave the appearance of. This one, tastes kind of like something you would get in the grocery store. You're not gonna say no to one, but it wouldn't be your first choice.
The red velvet cake.
Now we got something that's very unique to Starbucks. I've never seen this in any sort of fast food place, a red velvet loaf. Now, it might sound like somebody's fursona, but I can assure you, it looks gorgeous, man. You got some of this stuff going on here. Now, here's the thing. The biggest mistake people make with anything red velvet is thinking that it's just a color. Real red velvet has an integration of cream cheese into the base to give it that velvet texture. That's why it's called velvet, because it melts and it's smooth in a way that you can't get in another stratum. So if this is just vanilla with a little bit of food coloring in it, I'm gonna be disappointed, but I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. It looks really nice, though. Yeah, that's a miss. That's a definite miss. Not only does it not have a vanilla flavor, it doesn't really have any flavor whatsoever. It tastes like one of those Sara Lee pound cakes we used to eat on the reservation, where it's been in the fridge for God knows how long, and all it really has going for it is a slightly sweet sort of texture that honestly tastes more saccharine and artificial than anything else. The icing, oh God, the less that's said about it, the better, man. Really brittle. It tastes like high fructose corn syrup all the way through, and yeah, there's really nothing velvety or creamy or smooth about this. Ugh.
The coffee cake.
For the last thing we're gonna have another sort of thing that's it's not a cake pop so much. It's supposed to be. I was bamboozled.
You swindled me.
This is another unique offering. It's a chocolate coffee cake. Got a nice smattering of the cinnamon on there, which is also really cool. And then you got layers inside of it. Now, tiramisu is a dessert of the gods, man. Let me tell you. And what I'm noticing with a lot of the Starbucks desserts and chocolatey treats is they tend to go the safe route. There's nothing all that crazy. There's nothing all that wild with the flavors and combinations and all that stuff. They're trying to appeal to the soccer mom generation that's just trying to get enough energy so she can go cheat on her husband. But this is something that I hope is going to be very, very strong. Oof. It's a coffee cake in name only, because all you really get is the equivalent of somebody yelling the name of a coffee from your neighbor's house as you're biting into it. I was thinking this would be the star of the show, that they would put all their moxie and energy into the coffee cake to make this their standout unique feature. Such is not the case. It's quite dull, in a way to say. It's got no sparkle, it's got no shine, and it certainly does not leave you with any sort of satisfying taste. The texture's good, for sure, yeah, the texture's got a little something going on. And you bite into it, it's got that sort of granular sugar taste that you should have with a coffee cake. You can kind of taste the sugar granules as you bite into it. But my man, it ain't coffee. It's not that coffee vibe. So overall, the Starbucks dessert collection is really just establishing the status quo. There's nothing here that really goes out and beyond. There's nothing here that really makes you say, oh, I'm going to go to Starbucks for this treat. There's nothing that absolutely mind-blowingly good, with the exception of a brownie, which I would say is probably the best thing out of the selection. The rest is forgettable. But I imagine with fast food, that's to be expected, isn't it?
Let me know.